All right. Good afternoon, everybody. This is Mike Dalco, the CEO, continuously empowering others. I am fired up today because I landed an interview with an absolute superstar of the networking industry. She's laughing. It's so funny. She's having such a hard time accepting where she's ended up in this industry. And we might even talk about that for a quick second, but it is true. She is totally positioned herself to just blow up the world in the networking industry. And I'm personally just on the edge of tears to interview her because I remember the day she started and we all cried together. She felt like this was an answered prayer for her. And so before I introduce her, let me set this conversation up. I entitled it, Why Do Some People Succeed While Other People Just Crush Networking? Why do some people fail? Why do some people struggle and fail, seem to fail, while other people just get in the business and just crush it? Why does that happen? You know, I was joking around with Lady Prosperity before we started the interview, and I was saying, are you recruiting Martians or are you recruiting humans? And she said humans. And I said, well, me too. And everybody's recruiting humans, so why do some people just take off? And we're celebrating today Lady Prosperity reaching a milestone, been in the business a short period of time, and she's reached 1,000 affiliates. And that almost never happens to people in this industry. They don't get to 1,000. And so Lady Prosperity she calls herself, green and a newbie and all this stuff, and yet she's just crushing it. And so I want to sort of find out why. And I'm going to talk to her about that. I was looking at a video yesterday, and there's this gentleman on YouTube. The great thing about YouTube is anybody can get on it and say anything they want. The bad part about YouTube is anybody can get on it and say anything they want, and they'll almost seem like a professional because, see, we're trained to watch a screen and learn from it. And so when you see somebody on the screen itself gives people credibility. And this gentleman was talking about, let me show you exactly what he did. He took a pen and he got on this little whiteboard and he did this right here. He drew a little circle, and then he drew a circle, and he drew a circle, and then he drew two more circles, and he drew two more circles. And this is exactly what he did. He said, folks, this diagram, this is called a pyramid. And these businesses, they never work. He said they never work. Only the person right here makes all the money. And you have to buy a product, and when you buy the product, everybody up from you makes money off of you. And I was trying to watch it because I try to do what I call opposition research, where I have something intellectual to say, but this is just ignorant. When you say that, I don't mean ignorant as an insult. I mean ignorant as a definition. This saying that that's a pyramid is just ignorant because this is just a flow chart. That's all it is. It's a flow chart. This denotes how a business is structured and who sponsors whom. If this were Wells Fargo, which is where I used to work, this would be John Stumpf. These would be the vice presidents. These would be the area managers. And these would be the branch managers. And I would be down here a broker, a mortgage broker. And they call us brokers because we broke it and everybody else in that pyramid. That's a pyramid. If this were the government, that would be the president, Donald Trump. This would be Mike Pence. This would be Paul Ryan. This would be the senators, the House representatives, then the governors, and then the people. Who's at the bottom? The people. The people are at the bottom. If this were a church, this would be the pastor, the assistant pastor, the first lady or first gentleman. This would be the deacons, the mothers, the saints, and the friends. If this were a family, it would be grandparents, parents, children, grandchildren. It gets bigger at the bottom. That's just exponential growth. There's no such thing as a pyramid scheme. That is the most ignorant concept. There's a pyramid scheme where people at the bottom pay money to the people at the top and there's no product. That's an illegal pyramid. But there's no such thing as a legitimate company with a legitimate product as a pyramid. It never looks like this, which is going to bring me to my guest. This is what happened to me. I sponsored a person. This is me. I sponsored a person, which was my son, and I tried to help my son build his team. So a gentleman showed up here. And on this gentleman's team, a lady showed up here, which is Lady Prosperity. Now, can somebody tell me if that's a pyramid? That is a zigzag. And on Lady Prosperity's team, one side is bigger than the other. And it's because people have different levels of tenacity, different levels of coachability. And when I call the word coachability, if it was in the dictionary, you'd see this young lady's picture beside the word coachable. I give her some pointers and ask her to do a certain number of things, and she does it. So, Lady Prosperity, I'm going to ask you. I've set this up now. Why did you run to 1,000? And you probably passed 1,000 now, aren't you? Why did you run to 1,000 while other people maybe struggle? What's your magic?
There is no magic. It's just focus, and I'm going for my freedom, and that's it. I don't want to cry. Truthfully, after what happened in the hurricane, I was lost and I had a choice to make. I was either gonna mope and cry over all the things that were happening, or I was gonna do something with that energy and make it work for me. And when you have nothing but I just chose to take that energy and put into something positive. And it really wasn't about the money. It was just like, I want to be free. And no matter what, I was going for my freedom. And that's the difference. I wanted. Mr. Best and Mr. Dalco said, wait until your team hits 500. So I went to 500. And then they said, and I'm like, okay, what's next? And I'm listening on these power calls, and they said, then the next thing you know, you're going to hit 1,000. I'm like, okay, let me go for 1,000. And I was like, well, what's next? And then yesterday, before I hit 1,000, I heard on the power call, the next thing you need to do is get to 5,000. So I posted it on Facebook. Next goal, 5,000. And then I get a phone call, Lady Prosperity, the next level you're going to hit is 1,000. It's just like everything I value, everything that comes out of the mouth of the people that are pouring into my life. Mr. Best, Mr. Dalco, I remembered in the very beginning, after I soaked up everything that I could from Mr. Lawrence Stevens, who's my sponsor, I had to go to Mr. Dalco, who I was scared of. I was scared. And Mr. Dalco ran with me. Every time I called him to a three-way call, he was there. And then I was like, well, what's next? And then I had gone so far. I had did everything they said. I didn't even realize I didn't know what I was doing. And then I started helping people. I said, this is something that's really going to change people's lives, because I began to grow from the inside out. That God sent this to me. And because I know it came from him, I move with that passion and that I got to do it because he gave it to me. And you guys give the mentorship 100% free, 7 days a week. Everything you need is there. The people that I connect with in the Wealth Builders and the things that we share, going to the live event at the Freedom Celebration, just really mixing and mingle with other people from Team Synergy. And then the guy that came from, I think it was it Cuba? Oh my God, the energy. You come back with this energy. And when I came back from the Freedom Celebration, I held my head down. I turned off all the noise. I haven't watched no TV. I don't know what's going on in the world, nor do I care. I've been in a room with people that's doing it, and I want it.
So 2 more things I'm going to quiz you about or interview you about. You said something to me this morning, just some chills down my spine. You said, when I hit my rank, you hit a high rank, a director rank. You said when you hit your rank, you realized it wasn't about you. Can you talk about that a little bit? After hitting rank, you start looking for leaders on your team. And then I'm going to end with the coup de grace. So hit that for them a little bit, and then we'll end up with the final question.
Well, the one thing that I can say, I always wanted to do this and take people with me, but I wasn't a developed leader myself. So as I began to develop and move up, I was like, wait a minute, this ain't right. I need to go back and look for the people that want me to help them. I need to go back and look for the people that's sending out a white flag, say, hey, here I am. And I really, I started to do inventory inside of my team. I started looking at my back office and seeing what was going on and who was who. And honestly, I started praying. And God really told me to go speak to the Facies, because the Facies, I enrolled Stacy Facey months before she actually got started. But when I listened to the spirit and it said, call Stacy, I called Stacy. Stacy said, I'm ready to run. I have yet, and I love my team. Stacy said she wanted it, and I know what that feels like, because I told Mr. Dalco I wanted it. I told Mr. Lawrence Stevens I wanted it, and I told Mr. Todd Best that I wanted it. And they knew that I was serious, but I knew I had to do the work. I'm not just a talker, I'm a doer. I would prove myself. And that's what Stacy did. So then next thing I know, other leaders was coming up like, I wanted to. So I was like, okay, well, let's go. I just had a conversation with Merrill Anderson this morning. I didn't even sponsor Merrill Anderson, but he's on my team. He said I wanted. I said, let's go. So that's what I do now.
That is so good. You know, a lot of times, and the reason why I wanted to do this stream, and I entitled it, Why Do Some People Struggle While Other People Crush It, is because I'm hoping today somebody hears one little nugget that says, maybe that's it. So many times I get inboxes in my messenger and they say, Mr. Dalco, I watch your live streams. You encourage me so much. I've been in the business a couple of years. Our team is struggling. And when I hear that, I go, something's wrong. We've got to disconnect. Here's Carrot Bars, and it's a vehicle. It's ready to roll. It's filled with gas, brand new tires. It'll go 120 on the Autobahn. It's ready to go. All you got to do is get over here and get in it, and it'll take off. What's between you getting in that vehicle and really going? Some people go get in and they just sit around and look around and look at all the instruments. You got in it. You didn't say, how does this work? You stepped on the gas and took off. What in your brain said, I gotta go? What one switch? What was it?
I already knew what I wanted. And I already, I looked back over my life and I realized I was searching for financial freedom before I understood the process of how to get there and all that it took to get there. And I thought it was going to take me money, and I really needed mentors because I have the drive and I have a really good understanding. So when I ran into the wealth builders, I was like, okay. And then when I saw the system, it was do this, do that, do this, do that. I said, what? All I have to do is do what they're telling me to do, and then following the system that's already there in place, and I'm going to win. So I knew it was up to me. If it's to be, it's going to be up to me. So I couldn't look. And I always, redirected what I was doing, and I went for it. Because if I stop, nothing happens. But if I go and I go for what I know, and I'm looking at specific things, if you do this, you're going to get that. That's what this business is. If you do what they say, not just what they say, it's there in our back office. Do it. You're going to get the results, but you have to stay the course. You can't give up because you have a bad day. A hurricane couldn't wipe out TPV. So when I knew that, I was like, oh my God, this is going to be such an inspiration to so many people. I got to get up and I got to keep going. And that's what I committed to do. And then when my other leaders started coming up, I said, oh my God, I got to show them how to get where I got. And we just, it's just been amazing. I'm in shock.
Okay, so, and I'm getting to my final point, but just one quick thing on, you said follow the system. What do you do in conjunction with the map? What do you add to it? You're adding something special to it to make it work?
No, I'm adding me. This works if you don't become a robot. There are some gifts inside of you. Like, I think I'm a good people person when I thought I wasn't. I thought I was shy, and I'm finding out that I'm not. Who are you to your core? If you know who you are and why you're really doing this, I'm doing this because I genuinely want to see people free. And all you have to do is connect you with a system that already is perfection and go get it.
Oh, perfect segue to my closing point. I said to you today, I said that networking, forget what you heard about all these people that talk about it's a pyramid and all that ignorant stuff. Networking is the most natural business model in the world for people. Now, if you're not a person, then you can log off right now. But if you're a person, this industry of networking is the most intuitive. That's why Lady Prosperity said, I don't even know what I'm doing. I said, yes, you do. She said, what do you mean? I said, because it's intuitive. All networking is doing what we were born to do. What do you mean? We were born to connect. I told Lady Prosperity the story of the little girl at the restaurant. My wife and I were going to have dinner, and this beautiful little dark chocolate baby. She had to be maybe 1 year old, maybe, and just beautiful. Her skin was so dark, just ebony skin, and it was flawless. And her little kinky hair, and she had this jet black balloon. It was bigger than her, and she was throwing it up and hitting it. She couldn't talk. She could walk. She couldn't talk that well because she was just, and she was making noise, and she knocked the balloon under the bench, and she'd crawl under it and bump her little head, and she caught me looking at her. I was just smiling at her, and she saw me, and she smiled, and she bagged right up against my kneecaps, bagged her little back up to my kneecaps, and she just leaned up against me. She didn't know me at all. She bagged right up against my knees, and I just started massaging her little shoulders, and she was just doing like this. And she was just loving it. Her mom was looking at her, and about 20 people in the waiting area, they were just looking at her and just smiling. And we were looking at each other, laughing. Oh, how cute. This one little innocent spirit had everybody's attention, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she connected with me on a soul level without one word being spoken. She is designed, hardwired to connect, and so are you. And so I said to Lady Prosperity,
wow.
I said, networking is your divine nature with a compensation plan attached to it.
Yes.
You literally get paid to do what the divine creator designed you to do. You literally get paid to connect with people. You're connecting around an idea, a product, a service. You're connecting. And so Lady Prosperity has a knack, a neuro-associative conditioning, a knack to just connect with people. And now she found the right vehicle that's going to pay her to do what God already gave her the gift to do. And he gave it to all of us.
Yes.
So I'm saying, why do some people blow up and others struggle? Maybe you need to check yourself. Maybe you need to get back to your origin, to who you divinely are. You know, we let things divide us. Are you black? Are you white? Are you gay, straight, Christian, Protestant, Jew, Gentile, Muslim, Buddhist? When none of that stuff really matters, when you connect, you'll find the truth. Don't stress out about somebody's difference. Embrace that diversity, and you'll find the truth. We'll find the truth together. And so I think, Lady Prosperity, part of what you've done is you found out who you really are. And you can take that away and give us last words.
I just want to, first of all, thank you, Mr. Dalco, for just everything that you've done. You've poured in a lot into me in the very beginning, and I held on to everything that you, Mr. Best, and Mr. Stevens imparted into me very, very early. But you also have to do the work. Mr. Best said, plug in every day for your first 90 days. And I mean every day. Don't miss anything. I didn't miss anything. I was on everything. The energy that was there made me want more. I went to go look for the information on the Wealth Builders Worldwide website to help me run my business effectively because I saw it growing out of control. So utilize those tools. I was told, you got to come to Let's Go Weekend, no matter what. And we got there on a wing of a prayer, my first Let's Go Weekend. But the energy that was there gave me the energy, and my team the energy to go back and make it happen. But staying connected, staying plugged in, and executing is what's going to get you there. That's never going to change. When you stop, when your attitude changes, if you don't develop as a leader, you will have some hangups, but that's all within you. You can change today if you make that choice, and that's just it.
So thank you very much, Lady Prosperity. I didn't want to hold you too long. I know you, but hey, you should feel good that I tore you away from your telephone and give you a minute to just breathe. Give you a minute to just breathe and relax and take a break from work. You know, this business will absorb you. And the reason why people work so much as networkers, you know, sometimes people say, I would do networking, but I don't want to be as busy as you, Mike. I'm not busy. I'm just living. I'm just living. This business lets you build your business while you just live. My wife and I sitting at breakfast the other day, two handsome African-American gentlemen sitting at the table next to us. I said, hey guys, do y'all look for ways to make more money? You interested in cryptocurrency? They were like, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I said, hey, what's your phone number? I'm gonna text you some information. Boom.
Mm-hmm.
We're just living. It didn't take but one 10-second interval out of our lives as we're sitting there finishing our breakfast to say hello to the people next to us, which we should be doing that anyway.
Mm-hmm.
We should be caring about each other around us anyway. If I knew some other good information, I would have shared that too. I'd have been like, hey guys, I just read on my phone that there's an accident. Y'all go the other way when you leave, okay? Same thing. You're just talking. You're just saying hello to people, right?
Mr. Dalco, yesterday I tried something new. It was because I know what's going on with the at least $8. It can change your life. So I saw this lady putting a $10 bill in a lottery machine. I said, wait. I said, ma'am, I said, my name is Latasha Roberts. I want to give you my business card. Please don't waste your $10 on this lottery ticket that you're going to take a chance on winning when I can show you how you can
Whew.
absolutely 100% win.
Oh my
But I
gosh.
call me. And on the back of my business card, it has my website, says step 1, choose a package. Step 2, upload your KYC documents. Step 3, set up your autosave. So even if she never calls me, she has my business card, and I dropped the seed.
You did, and you before you start me down a rabbit hole, let me just say this as we close, guys. If you want to know what she's talking about, if she shared this with you on your page, get back with her and let her tell you how to turn that $10 into some serious future earnings. Okay, just we can't say but so much. We're duty bound by compliance to respect this global platform. But whoever shared this with you on their page, get back with them and say, please tell me what they're talking about, because it's massive. It's massive and it's limited, as all good things. As all very valuable things, they're limited in quantity. This is no different. Lady Prosperity, thank you so very much for doing this very spur of the moment interview. It just hit my spirit. And I put a video on Facebook early today, the CEO's top 5 business principles. One of those principles is when your spirit is resonating, go right then. Don't wait. Strike while the iron is hot. Get it out of your system, because somebody's needing to hear it. So thank you very much for pouring into us today, Lady Prosperity.
Ow.
You guys have a great day. We'll see you on the next stream.